Patriots players took a knee. Tom Brady linked arms with teammates. And tonight, Patriots owner Robert Kraft is supporting his players. WBZ's Jim Smith is at Gillette Stadium for us tonight.
And he's been asking fans what they think of the controversy. Jim.
Well, Katie and Ken, the game was great, but that was only part of the story here at Gillette Stadium today. To kneel or not to kneel? That was the question. Happy Pats fans in Foxborough after another last-minute win.
The game turned around. Brady's Brady.
At the twilight. But before the game, there was action, too. A large group of Patriots kneeling during the national anthem, provoking boos from some of their faithful. Lots of reaction along Route 1 after the game.
I think they have the right to do whatever they want, personally.
Very disappointed. But people knelt, very disappointed. So what are you going to do?
Did you get mad at any players that knelt, or do you think they...
Everybody has a right to express themselves how they see fit.
You know what? Do what you need to do. As long as you need to, you respect the country, that's fine.
And what about some of the crowd booing those kneeling Patriots?
There were quite a few people that were booing when they were actually doing it, which I didn't think was a good thing, but I understand that you got two sides to every story.
And how about those comments from President Trump about kneeling players?
He's fired.
One former Patriot is not amused.
He's a leader of this country. And to talk to citizens the way he did, no matter what's going on, and to talk to us like that, it's unacceptable. The players are relaying their message on the platform that they have, so they have every right to do that.
And Patriots owner Robert Kraft says he is deeply disappointed by the tone of President Trump's comments. He says his players, the Patriots players, are intelligent, thoughtful, and care deeply about the community, adding that he respects their right to peacefully affect social change. Live at Gillette Stadium tonight, Jim Smith, WBZ News.